It's not for everybody. I definitely feel like you have to be sure.
Welcome to the Melanated Files. In this series, we highlight and share the stories of black people from across the globe. Remember to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos and also follow us on social media for regular updates. Let's get into the interview.
My name is Dominique and I'm from Florida.
Why South Korea?
I had a friend teach in China a few years ago and I wanted to do it for a while, and my roommate from college, she was here, and so we kind of started talking and she gave me all the information and I'm here. Yeah.
So you teach her, right?
Yes, English teacher. I teach 3rd through 6th grade. That's been an experience.
So tell me about the experience. What is it?
It's very different from America. A lot of the stuff that they get away with here that would never fly in America. And the kids are they're children, you know, they act like children, but they don't really discipline them much. So they're very wild throughout the day, and they're very physical with each other. So like they hit and do stuff like that. But they kind of let them like roam around. But I do like that they kind of get it, you know, they can let out some steam and relax. And they have like their classes, they have 40-minute classes and a 10-minute break in between, which I think is really cool versus them sitting in class all day. So yeah, it's been an interesting experience. 2 years. I'm going on my 3rd year now.
What do you like the most about South Korea?
I don't really worry about my safety too much here. I love that. It's I would say for the most part it's safe. Like I really have not had any problems as far as that's concerned. And then meeting a lot of different people, because I know, like, you know, when I first came I was told it's going to be different because, you know, being a black person here, but I've also met you know, a lot of black people, and we have kind of like built a community, so that's cool.
What do you like the least?
The food. I don't eat Korean food. I've been here for 2 years and I have not had kimchi, which everybody's like, what? Yeah, I don't really eat Korean food. So when I go to work for lunch, I usually pack my own lunch. So the food probably, or like if I do want something, I have to travel kind of far, like either to Seoul or like 30 minutes by train from the city that I live in. So probably the food options. Yeah.
It's funny because the next question is like, what's your favorite Korean food? Is there anything here that they have that you like?
I do, yes. I eat, there's a Galbi restaurant that my friends go to. It's chicken. That's good. I've had, when we came here, when I first got here, we went to a Korean restaurant and I had glass noodles. One day I tried to experiment with ramen for work. Didn't work out. I don't even know what I bought. I was just trying something new and I was like, yeah, that's not it. So, but yeah, I eat like the ramen, some of the chicken. Their fried chicken is good, pretty good. My students love fried chicken, but yeah, that's like a staple, the fried chicken, Korean fried chicken.
What's it like being a black woman in South Korea?
You know, a lot of people think it's cool, like, oh, you know, it'll be cool, but it's more of like, you know, people stare and want to take pictures. Some people will ask, some people will just take pictures of you without asking. You know, wanting to touch my hair, asking me a million questions about it. But I'm trying to explain to people that like my mom, she's like, oh, that seems cool, but it's like, it's not an admiration type thing. It's more of like I'm curious what you are like gawking. And in Korea, certain things are seen as normal, like pointing or staring. That's okay here, so they do that a lot. It takes some getting used to. Also, just the microaggressions kind of you deal with like on a daily basis. Like people not wanting to get in the elevator with you, or not wanting to sit next to you on the bus. I haven't had like too many issues, but yeah, you can definitely tell.
So tell me, like, where do you get your hair done and stuff like that?
I do my own hair. Pretty much, I've been natural for a few years now, so I have all my products. I do my own hair, color it, do all that stuff. There are like African women that do braids in Seoul, so like some people will go there, but for the most part, I do my own hair.
What's the funniest thing that has happened to you as a black woman in South Korea?
At work, I teach 3rd through 6th grade, but my younger students, they don't really talk to me. Like when they see me, they'll like peek around the corner or like run past me or something. So one day I was outside during lunch and the younger students came up to me. They wanted to touch my hair, so I let them touch my hair, and they wanted to touch my skin, so they were like rubbing it, like, and the girl, she was looking like it's not coming off, but she was just rubbing. I was like, yeah. So that was interesting. I obviously am more accommodating to like the children. It's really interesting for them, to see another, side of that, especially my students, versus, because I know they watch like a lot of American TV, so they have kind of preset notions of black people. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah.
What's the best life advice you've received?
In Korea or ever?
Overall.
Best life advice. I would probably say, when it comes to like careers, my mom and dad pretty much tell me, if you do what you like, you never have to work a day in your life. And being here, I realized like if I do go back to America, I would not be satisfied working like just a 9-to-5, just doing stuff to get by to make money. Whatever I would do, it definitely would have to be something that brings me joy, something that I'm definitely like happy about. I just couldn't do a job just for the sake of making money. So yeah.
What are your ambitions for life in South Korea?
Oh, okay. I'll be here another year. So pretty much I want to, related to Korea, I'm going to start taking Korean lessons because I do want to be able to speak it fluently. So that's one of my goals. And then also for my students specifically, for them to kind of be introduced to Black people in a different way that they're not used to. And then just seeing them grow overall just with their English. Like certain students I have who go from crying whenever I want to ask them a question to the end of the year being able to speak and answer questions. So that's really rewarding. That's cool.
If the world was listening right now, right?
Okay.
What's one message you would share?
That's a tough one. I've got a lot of lessons. I think a lot of times people are so concerned with like things that don't matter. I would say like find the important things in life, like things that make you happy, and focus on that. I feel like a lot of people focus on so much like superficial things, like just finding the genuine and authentic things in life that make you happy and going towards that. Mashallah mama. I love everything about her, to how she is such a strong woman, and how initially when she got into when Barack got into office, that was like almost like a jab at her, people going on her strength, and she kind of took on that role of like the angry Black woman. But I love the way like she is so strong. She's very eloquent, elegant, graceful. And she's a really cool person.
What's your first memory?
So when I was younger, my dad used to spoil me a lot, and he had his own business. So my cousin and I remember it was around Christmas time, and he had a stamp, like a business stamp. And so we stamped ourselves up, and my mom was like so upset, and we were in punishment. So my dad came home, and he had ice cream, and she was like, they can't have ice cream. He was like, let her have the ice cream, let her have the ice cream. So the smart me, I kind of like wiped it all off, and I was like, Mommy, look, I can't have ice cream now, I'm good. And my dad, he was like, let her have it. So like my dad, I've always been a dad's girl, so that was kind of like one of the first memories. Yeah.
So what do you think the general attitude is here toward black people?
I think it varies. There are some people who, I guess again, like they get a lot of their information from media, which is not always the best, especially considering, what they see. And a lot of them will initially just like, just because I'm black, I'm from Africa. And I'm like, no, like black people are literally everywhere. And so I think it varies. Like I've heard, horror stories about different black people and their experiences here, and good things. But I think overall it's more of like a curiosity, and also it kind of like infatuation as well. It's weird because it's like they'll have like a hip hop club, but they won't let black people in. So like it's weird. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like the way it is in America, where black culture itself is ingested, but they want black culture without the black people. So
what's your proudest accomplishment?
Ooh, I would say probably opening myself up. I am a very private person, and it's funny because like I am truly an introvert, but like when I am around people, I can be extroverted at times. But I would say opening myself up, and then just I think the effect that I've had on my students, and them being able to see black from another perspective, like a positive perspective.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned in life?
Biggest lesson I've learned in life? Not living by other people's expectations. I feel like for a lot of my life, I kind of did that, and a lot of things that I did with the mindset of, okay, if I did this, what is this person gonna think? What is that person gonna think? And I feel like it cut me off from a lot of things. So learning, who I am, being comfortable in who I am and confident in my decisions. I think that's probably the biggest one.
Any advice for black people looking to come to South Korea?
Yes, definitely. I would say connect with other black people. I think that is one of the main things for being here and being able to stay here, because like there's days where I might go like Monday through Friday if I don't see my friends, like I won't see any other black people, and it's kind of like, okay, by the end of the week I need to like black people recharge. So I would say the first thing definitely is to connect with other black people here, or even if you're going to any other, I guess, countries that are more homogenous, like Korea or China or whatever, connecting with other black people, and then finding ways to handle I guess the stress of like being away from your friends and family, especially like during holiday times. That's why I was saying like connection is really important, because my friends will do like Christmas together, so we'll cook or do things that we're always together, so we're not by ourselves. And I think community is very, very major. Yeah. What's
the major difference between this country and America, where you're from?
Okay. Well, for one, people here are very upfront about things. Like no holds bars, no, you know, it's like if they want to know something, they're going to ask, whether it is asked politely or like, you know, questions that are really personal. They're very upfront about it, which I do like, but at the same time, it can kind of, you know, my students are like, well, why aren't you married? Like, and I had a student, she's like, okay, well, she's like, you know, she was asking about being happy. I was like, you can be happy and not married. I said, it's fine. And it was like their mind was just blown. Like, how can you be single and be happy? So that's interesting. Another thing I would say, I feel like people are more, I guess, like from the side of people not necessarily liking black people. I feel like it's more outright. Like, if they don't like you, you will know. It's not something that they're trying to hide or like being passive aggressive about it. It's out there. Access to things is very different. Like Walmart, for instance. That's, you know, I can go to Walmart and get anything. Here, there are certain, like, you know, things that I might want that are not so accessible, or I have to order them and get them shipped here and go through all of that. So accessibility to things that I am used to. Safety, again, like I said, I worry about my safety more in America than I do here. Again, not to say that, you know, they don't have any crime here or anything, but it's very, very different. I guess my worries or things that I'm concerned about are very different here.
What's the cost of living like here, in your opinion, in comparison to the States?
I think, the cost of living, the way my job is, they pay for our housing, so we don't pay for that. But their like apartment system is different because you put down really huge down payments, and then you pay your rent, but at the end of your contract you get your money back. But that's a major difference. Usually the down payments for the apartments are really huge, and then depending on what you want to buy, like some things like bedding or like some things are like really expensive versus things that I would buy in America. But I would say overall the cost of living, it's not too bad.
If you could change one thing in the world, what would that be?
I would say changing the attitudes or views that people have of, you know, people of color. Like I was thinking of the shirt Andre 3000 had on when he was performing, like why are, you know, around the world, like people that have darker skin, they're treated so poorly. So I would say, like, you know, changing like that narrative that people have of, like, you know, other people, or just like, I mean, not necessarily even people of color, but just people that are different from you.
What would you say your superpower is? Secret superpower.
It's a secret. No, secret superpower, adaptability. I feel like I can go into any room and be comfortable. You know, whether it's I mean anybody. Like I feel like I can change, you know, to my surroundings, which especially in Korea is very important, because the way they do things are different here. They have a very weird honorific system that you kind of have to get used to. So yeah, I would say me just being able to adapt to kind of any environment that I'm in.
What about like shopping here? Like how do you go about finding beauty products and like clothing and stuff like
that? So, you know, I'm on the bigger side of things, thick girls. So it is hard here, depending on where you go. Typically, like if you want a bigger size, you would go to Seoul, but they upcharge on a lot of stuff. Like I saw an Old Navy shirt for like 4 times the price of what I would pay for it in America. So finding clothing is hit or miss, depending on, if you're smaller, it's a lot easier. Shopping, yeah, so like clothing, depending on your size, if you're smaller, you probably would have a lot easier time finding things. Typically bigger size, you have to like travel like to Seoul or somewhere like that.
Where can people find you online?
Oh, okay, let's see. Instagram. My Instagram is naturally_fabulous_. I'm pretty much there a lot most of the time. I say it's just, it's not for everybody. I definitely feel like you have to be sure of yourself, moving away from like everything you know. And you're kind of like, you're really even having a community, which I stated earlier, but you're still kind of on your own. So I think being able to be on your own and do things by yourself is really important.
Is there somewhere here that you think people is a must visit?
I would say, probably the palace. I forgot it starts with a G. I can't remember the name of it, but the major palace here, when they do their changing of the guard, that's a really cool experience. But yeah, anywhere I would say, like, I mean, if you like shopping, Myeongdong, which is a major that's shopping area. Yeah, well, those probably are the major. Oh, and then they have the cafes. So like they have a lot of themed cafes. There's a cafe where you can take a picture and get your picture in the foam of like your drink, which is really cool. They have animal cafes. I've never been to that because that's not my thing. But the cafes, the themed cafes, they have a lot of different themed, like really cool cafes. I would pretty much say like the last thing about Korea, if you're going to come to Korea, you need to definitely, I would say, be sure in yourself and being able to be alone. Because like for me, I live in Florida. I'm like 7,000 miles away from family, friends. So it can be difficult at times. So I would say being able to be secure in being by yourself at times. And yeah, because it gets very difficult. Like some people will leave, like they can't, handle it. So I think that's important. But yeah, so that's it.
Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to share your story or have us visit your region, send us a message on any of our social media platforms or via our website.
That's good.